Hey everybody, it's Mike and Ross here. This is Mike with Close GPT and Ross, one of our Black Label customers. And we're excited today to share with you some of our voice AI technology. Now, we're going to be doing some demo calls on here so you guys can hear what the voice sounds like. We're going to be showing you what Ross, one of our customers, has been creating using this voice AI. And we're going to kind of dive through in some detail and show you how it works and go from there. And so, Ross, tell us a little bit about your journey, looking at different, voice tools out there, voice services. What have you found? What's unique? Kind of share that whole journey with us.
Yeah, so at Maverick Solutions, we have really built out advanced automation and AI systems, and we've tried to bring the best that we can to the table, and we try to merge them into one system. And the Closed GPT system has been built to be as simple as possible to create your AI in. The way that the framework works, the stages, the single prompt system prompt that's in there to give it a persona and give it its objectives. It's been a hard thing to find other systems that do everything that this one does. So, with the voice specifically, we've run into difficulties with building it out so that it actually follows instructions. So, we've used other systems that are great with the conversation and they can flow really well. But then, if you ask it a question off topic, it will get way off topic and you can't bring it back easily. We've used other systems that are easier to build in, but then they don't stay on topic the way they're supposed to. And so far, I know this is still being developed and this is our first iteration, but with what I've run through today with this bot that we're going to test out later, it was spot on. I mean, it went through and it did everything we wanted it to do. And it still has some minor glitches. I'm not going to say everything's perfect because this is the first iteration, but it's better than anything else I've tried out there so far.
That's awesome. And how many different things have you tried out there on the voice AI front?
I've tried 3 different voice AIs. I'm not going to drop any names because I don't want to badmouth any of the other companies.
Fair enough.
And they're all growing in their own rights. And I think as the industry, we all have a lot of work to do this. But man, with where it's at, it's super exciting. But the 3 that I've tested so far have not come anywhere close to what this system does. And then on top of that, with the price point at what we pay for this system to be able to build out and offer it to our customers at a better price than they can get anywhere else, it's to me unparalleled at this point. So let's keep it rocking, Mike.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the kind words, and we've been battle testing this AI, trying to put it through some real world experience. And during that time, you were actually going out and showing clients this.
Yep.
I think one of them was actually at a conference, and I'll let you talk about your initial experience at the conference, and I'll kind of tell them what we did to solve that.
Yeah. So start with what you did to make that possible. I know I've been asking for this for a while because you've been working on it. And I get a call from Mike at 6:30 in the morning saying, "Hey, we're finalizing everything over here and we're getting it all ready to roll." And the event started at 8 o'clock. At 7:30, he gave me the final go ahead, had connected a phone number to one of the AI for me to be able to test. And at that point, I didn't even have all the prompting correct on it because we hadn't been able to do much with it. So I just went out and showed a bunch of people and said, "Hey, literally, the devs just got this stuff going today and we're knocking it out of the park and trying to show everybody." And we were able to showcase it. And what we found was it picked up background noise really, really well. So if I'm having a conversation and it hears the guy at the next booth talking, it picks up and it pauses because it thinks I was talking and it didn't want to interrupt. So then I told that to Mike after the event. I said, "Hey, here's what I found. And then I'll let you take over with what you did from there," because you guys acted really, really fast to get that tweaked and fixed.
Yeah, so what we ended up doing is, before the voice AI was just listening for any voice. And so we built in some technology in there to actually identify who's speaking, right? So if you're sitting next to a computer and a YouTube video is playing, or you're sitting in a car and someone else is having a conversation next to you, right? It can actually detect that these are 2 different speakers. Now, the more different the voice is, the better it works. But that definitely helps if you're in a loud environment or a restaurant or a trade show, like in your case. So the AI doesn't think that someone else is speaking to it. It's actually going to lock on to your voice. So getting that type of real world feedback and use right there was actually really cool because we could make it even better before we released it. So,
yep. And it helped. I know Leland and Leland Best of Best AI TV, we were doing a live broadcast today and we were testing it, and he was talking in the background as I'm doing it. And sometimes because our voices are similar, it would pick it up. But I would say probably 75% of the time, if he said something, it didn't flinch. It just kept having the conversation with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know people are waiting for this moment, so let's go ahead and call one of these AI employees. And I hope you guys can hear it okay, because I'm going to try to just hold my phone up to the mic, but let's give it a shot.
Hello, this is Ava from Maverick Solutions. We recently received your inquiry about our AI Fusion solutions. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Now, let's talk about what's going on in your business. What's been keeping you up at night that Iva might help with?
Well, I got a Korean barbecue restaurant, and I'm kind of curious what you guys can do for that.
That sounds delicious. Avia can help streamline various aspects of your restaurant operations. For instance, we can assist with booking reservations, handling customer inquiries, and even managing orders. What specific challenges are you facing in your restaurant that you think automation could help with?
Well, I think having the AI help with taking reservations and orders on the phone would be perfect. And maybe sending out a text message to let people know their position in line.
That sounds perfect. AIVA can definitely handle phone reservations and orders, as well as send text notifications to customers about their position in line. This will not only save you time, but also enhance the customer experience. Now, could you share your first name with me?
Yeah, my name is Mike.
Great to meet you, Mike. Now, could you please provide your last name?
My last name is Brown.
Awesome. Mike Brown. Now, could you tell me what type of cuisine your restaurant specializes in?
It's really just exclusively Korean barbecue. That's really what we focus on.
That's fantastic. Focusing on Korean barbecue can really set you apart. AIVA can help you manage reservations and orders efficiently, ensuring your customers have a great experience.
Well, I like what
Now,
I'm sounding.
share
Can we
your email
just
address?
set up a demo?
Absolutely. Mike, let's get that demo set up. Could you please provide your phone number so we can finalize the details?
Yeah, it's 714-555-1212.
It seems like there was a little mix-up with the email format. Could you please provide your email address in the standard format, for example, domain.com?
Yeah, my email address is mike@gmail.com.
Great. Mike, now could you please provide your phone number so we can finalize the demo details?
My phone number is 714-555-1212.
Mike, now could you let me know how you heard about us?
Yeah, I heard about you guys on a Facebook ad.
Awesome. Mike, now that we have everything, I can offer you a few times for the demo. How does Monday at 12:30 p.m. or 1 p.m. sound?
I can do Monday at 1 p.m.
Great choice. Mike, I've scheduled your demo for Monday at 1 p.m. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly.
All right, so I'm gonna hang up there. So that was, booking an appointment, capturing the business needs. Repeated a question or two in there, but those are things we can go in and kind of tweak the form and the data it's capturing and kind of troubleshoot that. But that's going to lead us into, I think, our second new feature that we're going to show everyone. And Ross, if you want to share your screen and kind of show your AI employee, and while you're getting that ready, I can go ahead and show you guys something too. So we added in these. Oh, you got it ready. So there you go. So that was quick. So we got these new green bubbles in here in your AI employee. And now you're going to be able to actually see what your AI employee is thinking and doing as it's doing it. And so previously, you just send a message to the AI employee and you get a message back. And if something didn't work right, like why did it ask for the phone number twice, or why did it do this? Like you didn't really have any insight into that. And so now we're actually putting in the thoughts of the AI and the data it's capturing in between these messages just for you guys in test mode. And so I'll let you flip on that switch and share that screen and kind of take over talking about that experience using those new green bubbles.
Yep, I've got it in here and I've already started. I'm sharing the screen. I don't know if
You got to flip this. I'll flip it for you. There you go.
Yeah, I don't use Restream, so I appreciate that. So in here, this is what Mike's talking about. So the test mode gives me my AI conversation. It asks how I'm doing. I said, I'm good. It's great to hear. Let's dive in. What's been keeping you up at night? And then here's that green bubble that he's talking about. So trigger action form, because I have a form on the back end here, it's going to start collecting the data in this form, and it's letting me know that it's doing that. So then I can continue the conversation and say, I want to streamline my intake process and see what it says.
Yep. And so you're going to see these green bubbles for all sorts of things. You'll notice there's like a few right here. You got 2. So it says it's calling this tool, collect and save data. It actually shows you the data that it pulled from the conversation too. So you can see he hasn't provided his first name, last name, any of that yet. So yeah, you got some real-time kind of debugging info right here to help make the AI employees better.
And then it just asked me for first name. So I'm going to act like I didn't see that bubble there.
Yep. Perfect.
And then I'm guessing because it's already showed me that it's doing that, it skipped the green bubble there this time.
Yeah, so that means it didn't call the tool, right? So if it didn't call the tool, then it's not going to show you the bubble. So you see it waited till it collected both the first name and the last name to call the save your form data. That's pretty cool right there. So we can actually see what it's collecting and what it's triggering as it's doing it. There you go. You got type of business. You just said AI Fusion. It plugged that right in. And so this is going to be the way you guys can go in and actually test your voice AI, right? The AI on the phone. This is the exact same AI employee that you guys create in here that's multi-channel, right? So this can be talking over SMS. It can be talking over a phone call. But this is the best way to go in and debug it, make sure it's doing everything you want it to do. So you can make sure it's booking those appointments, triggering those forms, capturing the data. And yeah, I mean, what have you thought about the changes we put in here with these bubbles?
I really like it. It helps me just have more data to go off of. And I mean, you can never go wrong with too much data. Actually working with you on this voice project and going back and forth with, hey, we need to fix this, we need to fix that. I'm super intrigued by the amount of data that you can actually collect on the back end. And that it actually gives me a lot of, I don't know, optimism and hope that this is going to be just the best system out here, because I mean, you're literally looking at the conversation piece by piece on the back end, and you can see where it's breaking, where it's working. And I love what you guys have been doing on the back end to make tweaks immediately. I was on that live call earlier and I showed one, and you're messaging me. I didn't even know you were on the back end watching it. And you're like, hey, this is where it broke, fix this. And immediately it was good to go. So it's pretty cool. I love what you guys are doing with this data tracking.
I appreciate that. And so, one of the things that we found, and this is going to be a good segment into some of the new features in here. I'll go ahead and share my screen really quick and pop this in here. So we've been listening to everyone's feedback really closely, and we've been making a lot of changes to CloseGPT. One of the things that we heard was you guys want, more prompting ability. And I know you, Ross, you were a big advocate of this feature. You wanted to completely change the personality of the AI employee, give it custom sales frameworks to follow, right? And so you have a system prompt that's actually pretty big in here, pretty beefy. But now you guys have full control over that system prompt. Previously you'd have to go into different sections and like update your company name and personality. Now you just get full control, right? So update it all. And that makes the AI more malleable to fit your use case. Now, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So make sure you guys are putting good stuff in here in your prompts, and just test it out in the test mode. And one of the cool things that we found, and one of the changes that we made, is there's a lot of people that are using the calendar booking in here with your AI employees. And we found that the stages are super, great at keeping the AI on track. But sometimes people are forgetting to link their calendar stage to different stages. Or maybe you just got a really excited customer, like maybe you just said hi, right? And then they said, I want to book a demo. And if you guys don't have your stages linked, like in this case, from introduction to go to interested in demo, then the AI is not going to know what to do. It's like, oh, I can't do a demo because it doesn't know that the demo's there. So one of the things we did is you can actually, in all the calendars by default now going forward, is we're now allowing the AI to book an appointment on any stage. Now, if you have a use case where you don't need that particular feature and you want to make people go through the steps, right, then you can turn that off. But this is going to give the AI employees more flexibility. So if they say in that opening message, or as soon as they answer the phone, right, want to book a demo, they can make it there. One of the other things that we got in here that the team's still working on is this thing we're calling custom AI functions. And so what are custom AI functions? Well, I want you to think of custom AI functions like the calendar tool, right, to book an appointment, or the form tool where it's collecting and saving form data. Now you guys can actually go in here and build your own custom functions. And so you're going to give your function a name. You're going to highlight all the data that you're collecting, right? Give the AI some instructions, like put the zip code in here that the user provided. Tell the AI when to use this tool, and it's going to make this tool available to the AI. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, let's say in this example we just did, maybe we have it so we want the AI to actually handle reservations for a restaurant, right? So we might want to ask people, well, how many people are in your party? Well, that can be one of the variables. What's your name? What's your phone number, right? Do I have permission to text you? So we can do that sort of stuff in here, collect that data with this custom tool, tell the AI when it should use this tool, and then we can hook this tool up to a stage, right? And so if I go back to the stage right here, you'll see I have this icon. It says trigger action, custom AI function. And so that's how we can go in and use your own custom AI functions. Now, what can we do with this function? Well, let me go back into it for a second. And I'm going to pull up a flow over here really quick in another tab. And so we got a couple options on here. So this tool can run like every time someone provides an answer, kind of like the form, right? If you notice when it was collecting your first name, Ross, right? It was calling the tool kind of every time it collected a field. Or you can say, let's wait for completion, right? We don't want to trigger the reservation, right, until we collect all the data we need for the reservation. So you got two different ways of using these tools. And so the action we can do with this custom tool is a new type of automation flow. And this is really what we're calling the tool automation. And I'm going to pull this up right here so you guys can see this. Now, this is the part I'm actually super excited about. The voice AI is amazing. This part is super cool. This allows you guys to build integrations with just about anything, right? So since we're connecting the voice AI to the real-time flow, well, you could call an API, right, to look up some data. Maybe you're looking up availability on a calendar, on a different calendar system or an internal tool, or you're looking up availability at the restaurant, right? You can use the API step in here, right? We can do a custom API step or a Zapier webhook, right? We have a new step in here too. It's going to be called the LLM prompt. So with the LLM prompt step, you can actually go in, type in a prompt, and what's unique about this is you can actually specify the data that you want in the output. So the variables could be like email subject and email body, right? Create two different output variables. And your instruction is write a sales email or write an email confirmation that they've been booked for their restaurant reservation, right? It's going to create this output from the prompt and associate these as variables inside the flow. And so let's say I did an API call to make the reservation. I use the LLM step to generate an email response or a text message response custom to the user. Well, the cool part is we can actually pass data back now to the AI employee. And two different ways to do that, right? And so I want to go over the differences between these two. There's some use cases, and you might have seen this type of thing in the kind of the old school way of building bots is where you just send this text to the customer. All right. So if this was the check the weather tool, I might just say the weather is 89 degrees. Right. And of course I can put in a variable in here and insert that weather dynamically. But that's the old way. Right. The new way with AI is let's like inject a thought into the AI's brain. Right. Let's tell it what we found. What are the results from triggering this tool? Right. So in the check the weather example, it says the weather is 89 degrees. In the booking a reservation example, reservation's been booked. But and the reason we do this is because the AI, is I don't know the best way to say this, but it's a lot more dynamic than we can be in a static response, right? Someone may say, like, imagine a customer says, I want to make this reservation, and also what time do you close, right? Well, if you just responded with your reservation's confirmed, right? The person's going to be like WTF. So by giving the thought back to the AI employee, we tell it the reservation's been confirmed, and then it can reply in context with that data. So I can say your reservation's been confirmed and we close at 10 p.m. tonight, right? And so this is when you want to use send thoughts to the AI employee. Allows you to inject that extra context into the conversation. And so I think people are going to be using this a lot with other third-party services and tools to do things like reservations, to do things like maybe customer lookup and other tools. Like the possibilities are endless because you got all these steps in a flow. But tell me what you think, Ross.
I actually have questions on that if you can elaborate. So you just said we can use that for customer lookup. Does that mean we can connect this to a database on the back end and then it will actually search that database?
100%. So in order to do something like that, and let's, I guess, give me a real world example for that use case.
Yeah.
I'll go into that.
One that I'm wanting to build out right now is I have an insurance agent who has insurance clients, right? So we want to, I don't care if we have to change their binding process to where they put notes into a certain database, and we could do this going forward, and we can have our team go in and do it. Or maybe it interacts with their CRM and maybe they export their CSV file to a database. But now a customer calls in and says, hey, when is my bill due? And it can pull the data out of that spreadsheet and say, Ross, your auto insurance bill is due on this date. Your homeowner's insurance is due on this date. And hey, your homeowner's is set to escrow out of your mortgage this year. Do you want to go ahead and pay it now, or do you want to let it escrow? And it can go directly based on that.
Perfect. So in that example, and this is really why we created this dynamic tool for exactly that use case, right? Because we can come in here and instead of check the weather tool, all right, I would add a new, and this can be, I don't know, insurance policy lookup, right? And so some of the things you might want to ask to look up their policy is, I'm guessing, maybe a policy number or name and last four social or something. I don't know.
We'd have to figure out what it is. Maybe it's driver's license
Yeah.
number, address, something. But yeah, definitely something
Yep.
that's going to be able to protect their information.
Yep. That's going to be key. And so we can actually give the AI multiple options here, right? If we wanted to allow people to put in their driver's license number, or to put in their policy number, or to put in something else, we can create all these as variables, right? And so the AI actually sees this tool just like it does the calendar, right? It sees I have access to all these tools, and it thinks about which tool is the best one to use now in the middle of this conversation. And so when you're talking about booking an appointment, it's using the calendar tool. You're talking about your policy details. Well, I'm going to give the tool instructions and say, call this insurance policy lookup tool every time someone has a question about their policy. It could be renewal dates, it could be pricing, it could be, whatever. And so that's going to allow it to trigger that real-time automation. And that, Ross, is where we can do the API to look at that customer in a database. And I think we need to do another video just on this, like do a deep dive and actually build this one out for people. So yeah, there's a lot to go over in that. But I want you guys to all go in, check out the Voice AI. A big part of us getting this out is we wanted to really focus on speed, right? And that's going to be one of the things you guys notice with the Voice AI is the speed, right? We're obsessed with speed because I think we've all heard the different tools out there, and I won't drop any names, but you say hello and there's a 10-second pause or whatever. So speed is most important to us, but of course we're also at the mercy of AI API calls in some cases. So, but yeah, go in there, check it out. I think this is going to be an exciting future for us with this Voice AI. And then Ross, is there anything you want to add?
No, I would just tell you the one thing I've really thought about the most that excites me is that now I can use this as a personal assistant. So instead of saying, here's my link to book with me, I can literally just create a voice employee and I can say, hey, call this number if you want to book an appointment with me. And then I can actually branch that with the additional flows to use it as an IVR for my assistant, essentially. Whatever you need, whether you're a prospect looking for AI solutions, we can pass you down this path and then start getting the information we need. If you're a customer who needs assistance, we can pass you to our support team, and we can continue to use this to really be the first touch point to get you where you need to go. And then the human team on the back end is going to be taking care of only the things that they need to, which is going to make us that much more efficient.
Yeah. And I really liked what you did with your AI employee, where you put those, the sales framework. And what framework were you using on that? Because that was pretty cool.
I created my own sales framework, and it's called RISE. So
RISE.
It's recognition, it's identifying the challenges, inspiration, inspire the prospect to showcase them what we can do, and then secure interest from them. And then we elevate their position and close.
Yeah. The thing I liked most about that framework and the way you implemented it with the AI employee is it kind of seemed like it mirrored the caller a little bit, right? I was talking about, I have a Korean barbecue restaurant. You're like, oh, that sounds tasty, and it says stuff like that, and it'll repeat what the customer's saying, and I thought that was really cool. So,
and that comes down to partially the personality that you gave me access to build. I told it to be intelligent, witty, charming, and a lot of that goes into mirroring as well.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate you battle testing this with us to help make this, great as we can get it before we release it. And so appreciate everything you've done for us. So thank you.
Back at you. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. This is really turning out to be a premier system out there, and it doesn't have a premier price tag on it, which is going to allow this to be open for the majority of people instead of the minority. So I really love what you're doing.
Yeah. Appreciate that. So make sure if you guys aren't signed up yet, go sign up at closegpt.ai. The voice AI package is on the $297 plan, so make sure you grab that one. And then Ross, where can they reach out to you if they want to reach out?
You can find us at mavsolutions.io, and we build out custom AI VAs with a lot of different options in there, and we can definitely help out as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you guys inside Close GPT. Bye.